Record. I think it's recording now.
All right, thank you.
I can see pause recording here.
All right.
So you can change this to unfocused change. Do you understand? Then another was name you can was I've showed you autosave. So you can autosave on then when you autosave, it saves and formats for you, provided you have Prettier. Has everyone been able to download Prettier? Hello?
Yes, is it the
Yes.
prettier
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
code
Yes, sir. That
formatter?
formatter. Yeah.
Yes.
prettier.
Yes.
Hello, sir.
So I can hear you.
Once you click on that install, that's all right.
Yeah, that's all.
That
Then you
prettier.
install,
Okay.
then
You don't
enable.
need to do any settings.
You can enable, just enable it, that's all. You don't need to do any settings. Then you can change your themes too. If you want to change your color themes, you can choose any color theme. You can choose Monokai. You can see it has changed the theme of my VS Code now. Do you understand?
Yes.
So you can change your themes. You can change your themes, your color theme. You can use dark, depending on which one you want. Do you understand? So then you can also search for, let me move this pen away. You can also search for formats. Format on save. So format on save, it formats a file on save. A formatter must be available, and this is where Prettier must be available. The file must not be saved after delay, and the editor must not be shutting down. So if you click this, mark this, when you just search for formats, it will bring this in your user. Yeah, just search for format. It will bring this out, and you can click on this guy here. Do you understand? Are you all following me?
No.
You guys following?
Yes. Where, sir, where do you get it?
No.
Okay, so in my settings here, let's make this interactive. In my settings, I go to my settings, I click settings there. It takes me to this place where I have user and workspace.
But sir, I can't see my workspace. I only see user on my VS Code.
Okay, just use your user. Then search for formats. Search for formats on save. Just search for format. When you say search for format, it brings from default formatter. You can see if you installed Prettier. If you do not have a default formatter, you would see none here. But if you have a default formatter, it will put Prettier there for you. Are you guys following?
Yes.
Yes, but I did not see prettier in my own.
Download it, enable it.
Downloaded the prettier.
Enable it. Have you enabled it?
I don't. How will I enable it? I don't understand that.
So if you go back to your extensions and you click on Prettier Code Formatter, you can see there's disable.
Okay.
Enable. Check. Is this showing disable here?
Okay, showing disable.
So enable it.
That's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing
disable. And then that means
yes.
Then now go back.
That means enable.
Yeah. Now go back to your what's name?
Settings. That user.
That you settings. Go to settings here. When you get to settings, click here and choose Prettier as your default code formatter.
Okay, I'm done. I've seen it now.
So after doing that, then you search here for formats. So when you search for formats here, you click on this editor here. This place. You click it, you tick it.
Okay.
Then that's all. So now we can go back to
yes, sir. Sorry.
I'm listening. Is there any problem?
Your own that editor that you said we should click on.
Yeah.
Which one did you mark? Like there are others that are not marked.
That cannot what?
That is not marked. I'm seeing some that is not marked there.
Yeah, don't bother about that. Just click on what's the name? Format on save.
Okay, only the format on save. I
Yes.
should mark.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. So now let's go. I think we can start now. We are good to go now. So JavaScript. So what is JavaScript, guys? So in this lecture, we will be exploring JavaScript and looking at JavaScript as a language. Then we'll be looking at the basics of JavaScript. I would want this class to be as interactive as possible. I would assume everyone has been able to set up their VS Code. Yes, right?
Yes.
So, I would want the class to be as interactive as possible. So anyone that probably doesn't understand something, let me know. Do you understand?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
If you're trying that to understand something I'm explaining, let me know. I would be explaining as I would go down to your level as much as you want.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So I'm sure the other time everyone was in the class we had, the introduction to computer science we had on Thursday. And we were told that a programming language is just a tool that we use to interact with the computer to tell the computer what to do, right?
Like that. Yes, sir.
So, and we have several languages, but in this class, we will be looking at JavaScript.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So firstly, JavaScript is a versatile scripting language that is used for creating interactive content on the web. It is executed in web browsers and allows for dynamic updates to web pages without requiring page reload. Now, this is a high-level overview of what JavaScript is. I would want you all to come with me and explore something.
Okay, sir.
So let's go to X. Let's go to Twitter now. So there are three fundamentals of web pages, and the fundamentals we have in HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Did you all get that?
Yes, sir.
HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. They are the fundamentals of web pages. These are the three building blocks of web pages. So if HTML is what you use to write all these things that you can see now on your page happening, join today, sign up with Google, sign up with Apple, create accounts, already have an account. The content on every web page that you see is done using HTML. Are you following me?
Yes, sir.
Are you
We
all
are with you,
following me?
sir.
So if you look at my what's the name now? If you look at my code now, yeah, I have this is an HTML script here. This is an HTML script here. And I have HTML, head, title, style, body. And this is an H1 tag. This is JavaScript fundamentals, part 1. So now this, everything that is written here within this H tag here that you can see would be displayed within this body, would be displayed on my on my web page.
Brother.
Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Everything you can see here is going to be displayed on my web page. Now, the beauty of this web page is given to this web page by CSS. Can you follow? Are you all following me?
Yes, sir.
The coloring, how the coloring, the spacing, how everything is properly aligned and looking beautiful and user pleasing is given to it by CSS. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Now, so what does JavaScript do? JavaScript is responsible. I click sign in now. When I click sign in now, can you see what came up?
Yeah, another dialog box.
The functionalities that are on this web browser is given to this web browser by what? JavaScript. When I clicked this sign in now, the functionality that brought up this modal that you can see now is given to this what web page by JavaScript. Are you following?
Yes, sir.
Are you following? So if I decide to sign in now, if I sign into so now that I sign into Twitter now, if this modal that popped up now is JavaScript. If I click on this home now, this home that I've been able to go to, me clicking on this home and being able to go to this home is a function of JavaScript. If I decide to search for someone here now, for instance, if I search Elon Musk and I click follow, this following is done for me by JavaScript. Are you following?
Yes.
Yes.
If I search for
Yes,
anybody,
sir.
what's the name now? There's now, okay, you can see now. I hovered on this Tucker Carlson. Can you see? And what happened? There's a pop-up that shows his details. Do you understand? Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes,
So
sir. We can see your
these
screen.
functionalities are given to this web page by JavaScript. The beauty is given by CSS. The content is given by HTML. And the functionalities is given by what? JavaScript. I don't know if you guys are clear with what JavaScript does.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So now we will be going in modern web development. Pure JavaScript isn't written to develop web pages and web apps. JavaScript frameworks like React, Vue.js, AngularJS are the ones used to build modern web pages. But before you can write any of all these frameworks, I'm saying, you need to be what? Very good with JavaScript. Meaning any of these framework could go in the future, but what would always remain is JavaScript. There would be many frameworks coming in. There would be loads of frameworks coming in, but JavaScript will always remain. So if you know JavaScript, you can pick up any framework and learn. Are you following?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So JavaScript is one of the languages that is that runs in the browser. What do I mean by runs in the browser? If I decide to, if I open up my what's the name now? If I open up this page now, and this is a Zoom page now. If I click inspect now, I'm able to see a console here. I'm able to see elements. These elements are the HTML elements that build up this page that you are seeing now. Are you following?
Okay, yes.
Yes.
That the HTML elements. Did you see what I did? I clicked inspect.
Yeah.
So I'm able to see the elements that make up this page. Are you following? Now, if I go
Yes.
to the console, in the console, I can write JavaScript code in the console. So now let's say console.log, or let's say let's a equals 4. If I write this code now, it would run in the browser. I can interact in this browser now. I can interact in this browser and write JavaScript code. So let's do it with the sample index.html project I have here. Let's do it with sample index.html project I have here. If I copy this part now and I choose the browser, yeah, okay, let's use this one. So you can see this is our HTML. This is the HTML that we have here, and this is it here. Can you see? So if I open inspect and I go to my console, I can write JavaScript here. I can write JavaScript code here. So what I just did now is I assigned 4 to a variable called A. Are you following?
Yes.
Then I did what? Console.log A. This is the browser console. So if I say console.log A, I'm able to see what?
4.
4, which is the value I assigned.
Yeah.
Are you following?
Yes.
Are you following? I'm able to see 4, which is the value I assigned to what? The variable A in the browser here. So this is to show you that JavaScript runs in what? In the browser. Do you understand? And that is the reason why you are able to what? You are able to use HTML, CSS with JavaScript in the browser, because JavaScript runs in the browser. Browsers like Chrome, Firefox, and the likes, they have engines that run JavaScript in their browsers. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand? So for Chrome, it is the Chrome V8 engine. So it is called V8 in Chrome. Other browsers have their own engines like that have browser tools like the browser window and a whole lot of other things. Then inside the browser also they have inside the engine they can run JavaScript. Do you understand? Do you guys understand what I just said now?
Yes, sir.
So JavaScript runs in the browser.
On the browser. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so JavaScript can also run on the server, and that's how we build server-side applications using Node.js. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So JavaScript can also, it does not just only run on the browser. JavaScript can also run
on
the server, and that's how we build backend applications using Node.js. Do you get? So Node.js is the runtime where we can run JavaScript code. Do you understand?
Okay, sir. Yes, sir.
So Node.js is that runtime that allows us to run JavaScript on the server side. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So I'm trying to explain the fundamentals of how JavaScript as a language, where JavaScript can run, how we can use JavaScript. We can run JavaScript in the browser. We can run JavaScript on the server using Node.js. So for those of you that would want to be writing backend, you would most probably be using what? Node.js to build server-side applications. Do you understand?
Yes.
If you are the type that is going to go into front end, you would most probably be interacting with JavaScript that you are running on the browser. Do you understand me?
Okay.
Do you get?
Yes, sir.
If you are
Yes,
the type of person, do you have a question?
It's clear, sir.
Okay, so if you are the front end person, your JavaScript is going to be concerned with JavaScript on the
The
browser.
browser.
Do you get? If you are the backend person, your JavaScript is going to be concerned with what?
Server.
JavaScript on the server side.
Server.
Please, my network is breaking. Can you please come over that again?
So what I said is, if you are going to be doing front end, you would be concerned with JavaScript running on what? On the browser. But if you are going to do what? Back end, your concern is going to be JavaScript running what? On the server. That's using Node.js.
Well done. Yes, thank you.
You understand?
Yeah, thank you. Yes, sir.
Hello?
I'm having lecture.
Sorry, please, can you mute? So, do you guys understand what I just explained now?
It's clear.
So
Yes, sir. Very clear.
So good. So now we'll just be looking at JavaScript. We will be exploring JavaScript at the moment. And because the easiest way to start out with JavaScript is to run JavaScript on the browser. JavaScript cannot just run alone. You have to link JavaScript with what? in the browser, it cannot just run alone. You have to link it with what? An HTML page. Do you understand?
Yes,
Do you
sir.
get what I'm saying? So you cannot just what's the name, write JavaScript on the browser. A web page has to be loaded like this. Do you understand? Before you can what? Write JavaScript. Do you understand? Do you get what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Exactly. So how do we so I've explained the nitty-gritties about running JavaScript on the browser and on the server. So now the easiest approach for us to go and learn JavaScript at the moment, we would not be using Node.js at the moment. We will be running JavaScript on the browser. We have a simple web page here now that shows JavaScript fundamentals, and we would be using it to run JavaScript. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So that's how we'll be going along in this was named. So like so var x equals 10. Now x contains the value of 10. So in JavaScript, this HTML what's the name now? If we want to run JavaScript now, we would use what? A script. And it is inside this script that we would what? It is inside this script that we'll be writing our JavaScript. Are you following? Huh?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So moving forward, we would move this JavaScript that we're writing here into a separate file. Are you following?
Yes, sir.
We would move this JavaScript into a separate file. So we will just be writing JavaScript in that file. Are you following me?
Okay. So now, how are you going to access it?
Huh?
Please come again.
I said moving forward, we would be linking the JavaScript file to this HTML page that we have here. Do you understand?
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay.
But sir, hello, sir.
I'm listening.
Okay. Are we to just watch you now, or we are doing it on our system as you are doing?
Okay, so on your system now,
No.
you can create a file. You can create a new file.
Razak,
Yes.
the question that should they be following you as they are doing it? Let's say we are currently recording the class. So when we are done, we'll share the video with you. Just
Thank you
watch
very much.
as you're doing it now. And then
Okay,
you
sir.
practice it on your own.
Thank you,
Yeah.
sir.
So just watch me while I
Okay.
write
Okay.
write the code right now. Then if you have
Thank you.
any questions, if you do not understand anything I've written at the moment, do you understand? Just let me know. Do you
The
get?
question, please.
Ask. I'm listening.
Please, this the HTML you have at the top side,
Yes.
was that by default or you wrote it to before the
This is a
script?
startup. This is a startup project.
And you have to write it on your own if
You
you
can
don't
write your
have
own. You can write your own startup project. It's just something because you cannot just start up JavaScript without linking it to a page. So you can just write
That's what I want to get.
JavaScript. Do you understand? You can just write a HTML. You can spin up an HTML project like this, just like this. You can spin up an HTML project. Like this. Sorry, who is Can you? There's noise there. Sir, please, can you mute?
Please, is it possible for everybody to mute until we talk?
Okay. So you can spin up your own startup project, like your own HTML startup project now. You can just write JavaScript in your H1 tag and then move to your browser with copy the paths. You can copy the paths. When you copy the paths and you come to your browser, then you paste that path in your browser. Let me move this pin here. So you can just copy the paths, then paste it here. then you paste it. So that is going to lead you to the part of your index.html file on your system. You can see here now it is linking from users Mac, desktop, complete JavaScript, fundamentals, starter, index.html. Are you following? Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So it is just when you do copy parts there, you are copying the absolute parts to your index.html file. So when you click it, it would spin up the HTML script that you've written, the HTML code you've written. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Good. So you do not have any issues with the starter projects. You can just spin up a starter project. What is important now is we have our script here now. So this script is what we would use to link our HTML to our JavaScript. So when we have a script tag like this now, this script tag is telling us that, hey, HTML, I have a JavaScript. I'm going to be creating a JavaScript file here. And I call this file, I can call this file script.js. You can see that it comes with a JS icon here. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So I have these tags, I have this file now, script.js, and this is where I'll be writing my JavaScript code. So now I go back to my index.html here now, and I pick this my script tag here now. I put it inside here, as long as it is within my head here. Then after putting the script tag here, I put src. Now this src is telling this script that this is the location of what? Of my script. Script.js. I write script.js. Now be careful. In certain instances, your index.html, your script.js file might not be in the same directory as this index. Of course, there's no reason why you should not have it in the same directory. Do you understand? So if I do script.js now, if I go into script.js here now, this script.js and this index.html, they are both in this same directory. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand? They are in this same folder. Do you understand?
Yes.
So I can just easily what? Reference this script.js file here
Directly.
by writing script.js. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So when I write script.js here now, this is telling me that, hey, my web browser, my script.js file is where? Is here. So any JavaScript I'm writing, use it with this what? Web page that I have here. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So yeah, in this script.js here now, I have my HTML. So I have my JavaScript rather. So let's write simple JavaScript. And the first thing we would always write in every programming language is what? Hello world. So let's say console.log hello world. Now I save this. Then after writing this in my script.js, I go to my browser here now. When I go to my browser here, if I reload this, what do I see here? Hello world. Do you understand? So from my JavaScript code, I can talk to the console in my browser. I can write things into the console from my JavaScript code, and I use what? Console.log to do that. Do you understand? Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Hello,
Yes.
sir. We can hear you.
I can hear you. What's the question? Does anyone have any question?
No questions, sir.
No.
Okay. So in the absence of any question, let's move forward.
Please, we can ask question after the class now.
Yeah, definitely. You can ask questions on that part.
Okay, thank you. Let's move on.
I'm sorry. Do you want to go over that one more time? Just one more time, please.
You want me to go over it again?
Just this last part you did.
Okay. So now I can write JavaScript code. Now I can say let's a variable a equals 4. Are you following?
Yes.
Now this variable that I'm writing to be equals to 4 here now. How do I see this variable in the console? The only way to do that is to log it to the browser console. Do you understand? So if I say console.log a, this is going to what? Log what? What value to the console?
4.
4. So now if I go into
4.
the browser here now and I reload this now, I can see. Are you following me?
Yes.
Good. So let's move on now. You would have seen that I have been using a certain way to declare a variable here. Let's, and you can see that there's var here. Are you now these are different ways to initialize variables in JavaScript, but we will get to that. Do you understand?
Yes.
We'll get to that. So let's start with values. Values are the basic building blocks of everything in JavaScript. 4 here is a value. Hello world is a value. Any other thing we would be doing, we'll be writing out is a value. Are you following?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Now, values are divided into 2 things. We have primitive values and we have objects. We have primitives and objects. We have primitives and we have what? Objects.
Objects.
Are you following? So,
Yes.
and how do we use values? How do we use values? We have several primitives and we have objects. Primitives are data types like number, strings, number, strings, booleans, and all that. Then we have objects. Are you following me?
Yes, sir.
So those are different values that we have. Now, what is a variable? A variable is like a box that we can save primitive values or objects. Are you following me?
Yes, sir.
A variable is like a box where we can what? Save primitive values and what? Objects.
Noted.
Okay.
Now, if I want to write a variable, if I want to write a value, I can easily just say that what? Console.log devlink. I can also come here and say console.log devlink. Now I can pick up this console that I just did here now. I can repeat it 5 times. Are you following?
Yes.
Now, someone could come and tell me the devlink spelling is wrong. Then that means if I have this in like, let me say 10 other places, I would have to start coming here to change S here. I'll change S here. I'll change S here. I will keep changing S. As, do you understand? I would have to keep changing S in as many places I console devlink before. Are you following?
Yes.
And that's too much stress. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
That's too much stress. So in order to ensure reusability at every point while writing code, variables are there to help us. Are you following?
Yes, sir.
Variables are there to help us what? Ensure reusability of our code. So how would I normally do this with what's the name now? With a variable. I would just come and say, let's tutorial equals dev links. And then everywhere I have what's the name here now, I can easily just write console.log tutorial. Are you following?
Okay.
Now, if I console.log tutorial now, and I go to my browser and I refresh, I see dev link here. Are you following?
Yes, sir.
Now, if I go back and someone comes tell me that they need me to print dev link 10 times, I can come here and do this console.log tutorial. I can put here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can do this enormous number of times. If someone now comes and says the spelling of this dev link is wrong, we want to change the name of our tutorial to dev links. All I would just have to do is just change what? The variable.
Only that. Okay.
Are you guys following? Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All I would just have to do is
Yes.
just change the variable. And when I go back to the browser, I will be able to see what? Dev
Dev
links
links.
Dev links.
in all the necessary places. Are you following?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Now, another beauty of consoling from the what? Another beauty of using the console.log from our projects is on our browser, we are able to see at what points in our JavaScript file this is happening. If I go back to my browser here, you can see something. What are you seeing here?
Script.js dash colon 13.
It is telling me that this 4 here is on script.js line 3. If I go to my line 3 here now, I know that this is where I'm printing what? This is where I'm printing what? 4. So if at any point in time, I need to find my issues, I have issues, I need to debug or change something, I know where to target. Do you understand? I know exactly where to target. And that is the beauty of what? The console. So I can see that this is what? I have script.js here. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
And this is showing the what? The line where what? The line where the what? Where?
Dev links.
Exactly.
Outputted.
So this is a simple exploration of variables and importance of variables. Are you following?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Now,
Yes.
what are the conventions when dealing with variables? Things we must not do when assigning variable names to our values. One is we must not start our variable names with what? Numbers. If I do this, let's 3 facts equals hi. You can see already that what? An identifier or keyword cannot immediately what? Follow a numeric what? Literal. Now, this is trying to tell you that what? I cannot start a variable name with what? A number. So if I remove this, it works well. Are you following?
Yes.
Okay.
I cannot start a variable name with what? A number. I can now probably decide to put 3 here or put 6 in the middle. It doesn't what's the name? It doesn't complain. Do you get? But I cannot start a variable name with a number. That's the first convention. Do you get?
Okay.
Now, the next convention is variables can only contain numbers, underscore, $, and letters. Variables can only contain numbers, underscores, $sign, and letters. Now, if I decide to add maybe one very funny special character to this, like arts, do you see that it is shouting?
Yes.
Can you see? So I cannot add special characters. I cannot add special characters. You can see that I'm getting a red squiggly line here already. So I cannot use special characters in what? Variables. I can only use numbers, underscores, and the $sign. Now I can say fats underscore pump. This would work very fine. And I can say fats $pump. This would work very fine. But I cannot use anything outside numbers, underscores, $sign, and letters, of course. Are you following me?
Yes.
Are you following me? So those are
Yes, sir.
conventions for naming variables. And also, your variables should be very descriptive. If you want to maybe write a code that prints, maybe that does something, your variable names should be descriptive and they should follow the path of what you are doing. You cannot just come and say, let's hi equals something. No. If you want to print the name of a person, you say let's person name equals bio. Someone that sees this variable now understands that this is supposed to be someone's name. Do you understand? Variables should be what? They should be descriptive. Are you following?
Yes, sir.
Another thing about variables, you cannot use reserved words for variables. What do I mean by reserved words? There are certain words in every language that are particular to that language. Are you following me? For instance,
Yes, sir.
methods of that language, ways to instantiate classes in that language. You should not use those as variables in JavaScript. For instance, now let me show you an example. An example is new. If I say let new equals hello, now you can see something. What does it say? Variable declaration not allowed at this what? Location. And why is that so? Because I'm using what? I'm using new, which is a reserved keyword what? In JavaScript. If I change the name to something else like jet, are you following? It works. So I cannot use reserved values in what? In JavaScript. Name is also a reserved value in what? In JavaScript, but it doesn't always shout. But I would implore you all, when writing JavaScript code, you should try as much as possible to not use name as a variable name. Do you understand? It is a reserved keyword in JavaScript, but I think in new releases, it was allowed to be used. But in order for you to not experience unexpected behaviors, you should always probably what? First name and last name. Do you understand? Are you following? So
Yes,
you
sir.
use first name, last name, like that. So those are the another thing is our variable names should start with small letters. Ideally, your variable name should start with small letters, or else you are writing constants like pi. This is the only reason why your variable name should start with a capital letter. Do you understand?
Yes.
Is the only reason your variable name should start with a capital letter. Outside that, your variable name should not start with and variable names like this are always all in capital letters, not mixed. They are always in capital letters. And the reason why we do not start variable names with capital letters is because the using capital letters to start names is reserved for a side of JavaScript called object-oriented programming. So when we want to write classes and constructors, are you following me?
Yes, sir.
So starting those things with starting variables with capital letters is reserved for object-oriented programming. I mean, if you use it, it is not going to shout at you, but ideally you should not. Do you understand? Then
Yes, sir.
one other thing I want to put let you know is we have different ways of writing variables. We have what we call snake casing, and we have what we call camel casing. In certain languages like Python, we use snake casing a lot. Snake casing means if I write a name now, first is one part of the name, first name. I use an underscore and I add name before I assign this to what? Bio.
You're
Do you understand? This is called snake casing. Are you following? It is a method of writing, assigning variables. It is called snake casing. But in JavaScript, mostly what we use in JavaScript is what? Camel casing. And how does camel casing work? I write first capital name, Bola. Are you guys following me?
Yes, sir.
Now, if I decide to now print this in the console, I will get the respective what values that I have assigned to all these variables. Are you guys following me?
Yes, sir.
So I think this should be really okay for variables in JavaScript. Everyone knows how to declare variables in the right order at the moment. I would assume everyone understands how to write variables. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Huh?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So now let's move on to the next what's the name? I already deviated from my slide because I wanted to do
Sir,
amount of explanations.
sir, I have a question
I'm listening.
regarding the variable constant using like this constant let that we're using to declare a variable initialization. We're using let. But on the document that you're presenting, we're seeing var. So what my question is these two, can someone be using them interchangeably, or there are certain rules attached to each of it?
We'll get to that point. Don't worry.
Okay.
Get to that point.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So now comments. What are comments in JavaScript? Comments in JavaScript are essential for explaining your code to yourself and others. You all would have seen that while I've been writing this code, I've been doing something that makes a part of my code green. Are you following?
Exactly. Yes, sir.
As always, doing is better. Explaining it now, I've unconsciously been doing it prior to now. Do you understand? Yeah, I was able to explain some things with what about variables, saying variables ensures reusability. So you all could tell that my aim while doing all this was to explain what I was doing. Do you understand?
Yes.
Now, anytime I want to write comments like that, those are called comments. Anybody that comes to this what's the name now and sees this here now, snake casing, understands that probably this is a snake casing method of declaring what variables. Anybody that comes here now sees this and knows that okay, variable ensures reusability. He knows that okay, we are talking about variables here. Anybody that comes here now says numbers, underscores, dollar signs, and letters. Okay, then this probably what is talking about something in this code. Do you understand? So comments are just ways to explain your code. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
There are ways to explain your code, and they are not part of the words. They are not part of what your code executes. Do you understand?
Yes.
So if you run your JavaScript code now, this JavaScript code that we have here now, in your browser, it doesn't see all these guys here. Everything here, it doesn't see these guys. Are you following me?
Yes, sir.
It's more or less like these guys do not exist. I'm not going to be running these guys because they are what? They are comments. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand what I just said?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So there are different ways I can comment. In this place now, you've been seeing that I've been doing this double forward slash, right?
Yes.
Now, this double forward slash is used for majorly single line comments. If I want to do multi-line comments, I want to comment this whole thing now. I go like this slash, forward slash, and I use a star. Then I come down here and I use the same star here. Then I what? This is how I do multi-line comment. You can see that I've been able to comment line 8 to what? Line 20 using multi-line comments.
Please come again.
Yeah?
Come again, please.
So single line comments comments only single lines, as the name implies, single lines. If I do like this now, this only works for that line. Do you understand?
Okay.
But if I want to comment from line 8 to maybe line 14, I do like this. A forward slash, an asterisk. Then I come to where I want to stop the comments. I use the same asterisk on line 14 and a forward slash. Do you understand?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
That has helped me comment line 8 to what? Line 14. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
If I didn't want to stop at line 14, I will bring this star and forward slash to maybe line 19. And I do this star and forward slash. Are you following?
Yes, sir.
Good. So that is what comment does to what our that's how comment helps us in our code. It just helps us to what? Explain what we are doing in our code. That's what comments is for. Are you following me?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
A question, sir.
I'm listening.
Okay. The multiple comments, there are multiple line comments you do now. It means the system will not execute them or what?
Exactly. So now let me show you something. If I do console.log tutorial now, do you understand? This console.log tutorial. If I comment this guy out, when I comment this guy out now, if I go to my console, do you think the value of tutorial will be read?
No.
No,
Eh?
because
No.
Now let's try it. Let's try it so you can see. Let me go to my console now and refresh. What did you see here? Uncut what? Reference error. Tutorial is not
It's not defined.
It's not defined. At script.js line 15. Now, if I go to my what? Back,
Line 15.
I can see that what? It starts from this line 15 here. Tutorial is not defined. And that's because I commented it out. Meaning I was telling the JavaScript interpreter to not reference this value. This value is not part of my code. This tutorial here is not part of my code. That's what I'm telling JavaScript at the moment. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand?
yes.
So JavaScript is a dynamically typed language. In languages like Java, the moment I comment this guy out, it is going to throw me an error here. But the reason why this tutorial remains here is because I can always assign variables. I can always assign variables to have undefined values. Are you following me? Let me check. This is not correct. I can always assign variables to have undefined values. Do you get? You can see it is telling me that it is undefined. I can assign variables to have undefined values in JavaScript, even in other languages. So that's that brings us to the end of what? Comments. You all understand comments now, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, what I'm talking about here now takes us to what? Data types. And that's why we will be talking about data types next. Do you understand? Let me put my value here back, so I do not have an error when I run my code. Now you can see that 5 is being printed back because I've assigned the value to tutorial. Are you following me?
Yes, sir.
Now, so let's go. We are going to data types now. Now, what are data types? Can anyone give me an idea of what data types are? I want to want the class to be interactive. Can anyone just give me an explain what data types are?
Yes, sir.
A data type can be either numeric or value. For example, when we say data type, if it's numeric, it will be in numbers. And if it is value, that means letter A to Z also.
Okay. You tried, but I've actually explained this before. I've explained
data types are they are primitive. They hold primitive values like integer values. We have string, we have boolean, and we have characters.
Okay, so you were halfway there. You were halfway there. But like I said, I've said it before, and I said data types. I've said it before, but I didn't come out outrightly. Data types are values that could either be what? Objects or primitives. Are you following me? Are you following me, guys? So you only said
Yes, sir.
a part, which are the primitives. So you can also have objects. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Exactly. So data types could also be what? Objects, not just primitives. Are you following?
Yes, sir.
So this is more like the train. We have data types. Data types. Data types can either be what? Data types, they are what? Values. And
Values or
Object.
Primitive values.
Values
they're either
can
primitive or objects.
primitives. Or what?
Or
Or
object.
objects. Are you guys following?
Exactly, sir.
Now, so what are the data types that we have in JavaScript?
Primitive.
JavaScript has numbers,
Boolean.
numbers,
Boolean. Strings.
booleans. Undefined is also a data type in JavaScript. Null is a data type in JavaScript. Symbol is a data type in JavaScript. Then we have big ints also in JavaScript. Are you guys following?
How about blog?
So these are data types.
Sorry, sir.
Huh?
Hello, sir.
I'm listening.
Yes, I don't get something. Like, is example of data type, are they the values, numbers, strings? Is values on data type or data type the same thing as values?
So I was given a scenario where we have data types. Data types, like I said, everything is a value. Do you understand?
Okay.
Exactly. So value, everything, they are all values. So we can either have primitive, look at data types and values. Just look at data type and values as one big box. Or just remove values and just look at it as data types. We can have primitive and objects. Now, data types, primitives, objects, all of them together, they are these 7. All the ones that we have in JavaScript, they are these 7. Do you understand? So here now, I can tell you that these numbers is a primitive. Strings, primitives. Undefined, primitives. Sorry, Boolean, primitives. Null, not a primitive.
Is that an object or what?
Null is an object. Are you following? Do you understand?
Yes.
Exactly. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Sorry, please, can you mute your mic? There's noise from someone. So these are the different data types that we have in JavaScript. So now let's start exploring. Symbol was just introduced in ES6, but we would not really be looking into symbols like that. So let's look at the other ones. Numbers. What are numbers? Numbers are integers. Are you following me?
Yes, sir.
Numbers are integers.
Yeah. Float.
Integers and float. In certain other programming languages, numbers would have been given to you as integers, floats, longs, doubles. Are you following me? In other languages, you would see that numbers would be divided into these guys. But in JavaScript just takes everything as numbers. Are you following? So I can decide to say, let's A equals 4.7. Okay, it is saying cannot what? Redeclare what? Block scope variable A. Can anyone tell me why I'm getting this error? Can anyone tell me why I'm getting this error?
Yes, sir. We already declare A as a
Exactly.
variable.
You should learn to what? You should learn to what? Read your error messages. It is telling me that I cannot redeclare block scope variable. In I've declared the variable A, yeah. So I cannot what to declare it. So we have to change the name of this variable to what?
Let's
B. First number. Let's use first number. Yeah. So I have left first number equals 4.7. Now, if I over this, I can see that this is showing me what? What is this showing me? It is showing me what? First number as number. In some other languages, this is going to be a float.
Floats, exactly.
You understand? So integers, floats, doubles, longs, they are all numbers in JavaScript. Do you understand? Now,
yes, sir.
Positive integers, negative integers, floats, and doubles are all numbers in JavaScript. Now, if I console.log, if we go ahead to console.log first number, yeah, now, and I go to my console here now, if I refresh, I get my what? 4.7 here. Are you following?
Yes, sir.
Now,
Yes, sir.
that's for numbers. Next, we'll be looking at what? Strings. What are strings? Strings. What are strings?
Array of characters.
Okay, very good. Array of characters, or let us just say several characters form a string. Do you understand? Yes. In some languages, a character like this is called a char. It's called a character. It's called a character. A character. But in JavaScript, everything is still under the umbrella of what? Of a string. Are you following me? Yes, and how do we declare strings? The only way we declare strings is by using what? Single or double quotes. In JavaScript, I can declare a string like this.
Okay.
I can also declare a string like this. Both works. In some languages, I cannot declare a string like this.
Really?
But in JavaScript allows me to declare a string like this. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
But one thing must be consistent. You cannot start with this and now say you want to what? You want to end with this. Do you understand? It doesn't work that way. You have to what? Work with the same thing. If you choose the single quotes, you do that, or you choose the double quotes.
Okay.
It works like that. Do you understand? So I want us to console.log new string to the browser console. Now, if I go here now and I see what? GERI in my browser console. Now, you might have noticed something that I'm seeing strings in black and I'm seeing numbers in what? Blue. Do you understand? This is how the browser console outputs the values of different data types to me. So when you see a value like this, it is probably a string. Do you understand? In your console. So it is possible someone probably declared something like 4. Yeah. By mistake. Now, is this 4 here a string or a number?
It's
It's
a
a
string.
string.
Number.
It's number.
Number.
It becomes string.
Hmm?
This one, since it's under a quotation, it's become string.
Yes.
Okay. So now, let me now put it to you. What determines the data type of a variable is the value. Let me come again. What determines the data type of a variable is the value. Now, what is the data type of this new string here now? This variable, new string here now, what is the data type?
Yes, it is 4, but can it be used for calculation again?
So whether it is 4 or it is 10 or it is 15, whatever, doesn't matter. I'm interested in the data type of this variable here.
It's a string.
It's a string.
It's a string. I can choose to write for 94 or 894 here. It is still a string. And why is it a string?
Because it's in a quotation.
Exactly. That's the reason why it is a string, because it is in between quotes. And that's the reason why it is a string. Do you understand? So it is what I put here. What I put here is what determines the what? The data type of what? This variable. This variable doesn't just get a data type out of the box. It is what you put here that determines what data type.
What we get, okay.
So if I change this now and I put 89, now what is the data type of new string?
Number.
Number.
Integer.
Integer, yes.
Integer, integers, floats, doubles. They are all numbers in JavaScript.
Okay.
Do you understand? Are you following me?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
They are all numbers in JavaScript. So if I log this to the console now, new string here now, I see what? 89.
89.
I also see that it is in blue. It is what? It is a what?
Yes.
It is
It's
a
a number.
Good. So,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Can we log that one when you put, okay, sorry, I think that's what you
Okay, yes.
okay, you want me to log this 89 too?
Yeah, to check.
Okay, so you see it now. Can you see it?
String.
It is a string. It is not what? It is not in blue like this other one.
Yes, that's
You get
exactly.
this is a string.
Yes.
Do you get it? Good. So let's move on. We are moving to booleans. What are booleans? Booleans,
True or false?
true or false. Very easy. Booleans, true or false. Very easy. Let's first boolean equals true. Let's second boolean equals false. Now, if I go to my console, now, am I going to see the value? Am I going to see the value?
No.
No.
Sorry, Ajobi Damilola, you have a question. Speak up.
Yeah, I want to ask, why are we like declaring first number, first boolean, first string? Can't you just say let boolean or let number or let string be? Why the first? That's my question.
Okay. Can anyone answer that question now?
Yeah, since you are doing
Yes, I think we are trying to be specific.
Thank
because
you. Our variable name should be descriptive. Now, boolean is a type in JavaScript, is a data type in JavaScript, and it would not be reasonable enough for me to now say, let boolean equals false. Do you understand what I'm saying? We talked about this while talking about naming variables. Do you understand? Did I answer your question, Ajobiwe?
Yes, yeah. Thank you.
Okay. So now I have this now. When we go to our console, do we see the value? Why don't you see
Have
the
you
value in our
refreshed?
console?
I'm not consuming it.
Thank you. That's what I wanted to confirm.
That what, sir? I didn't hear that.
We
Okay.
didn't see our value, the first Boolean and second Boolean in our console. And someone just
Okay.
answered that it's because we didn't console it. We didn't output it to the browser console.
Okay.
So now if I come here now and you can see the value of what?
Yes, for the first Boolean.
Exactly. So I can do it for the other one too. If I come here now and I refresh, I see the value of the what? Second Boolean.
Yes.
Is that good?
Yes, sir.
So let's continue. So the next thing is undefined. I've explained undefined. Undefined is a data type also in JavaScript. And how do we get undefined? By just what? Declaring a variable. We can just say let's first undefined value. Just declare like this. Now, if I say console.log first undefined value, what do you think I'll get in the browser console? Can someone tell me?
No.
Huh?
Nothing.
What do you think I'll get in the browser console?
Undefined.
You think I would see
We-
undefined in the browser console?
I don't think so. We didn't declare it.
We declared it
Yes,
as
that's what you did. You see undefined there.
in the browser console.
Yes.
I raise you not. We are not going to see that.
We are not going to see it.
We are not going to see that. It is there, undefined.
But is it defined? Please, sir, go back, sir.
Let me go back and show you now. And the reason why we are seeing it in the browser console is because it is also a type. It is also a type. Now, this leads me to taking you to what? Type of. Type of is a method that shows you the type of what? Of a certain variable. Do you understand? We assign values to all this first Boolean. We assigned a value to it. This value is a Boolean. He printed it. We assigned a value to what? Second Boolean.
Second
He printed
Boolean.
it. This value is a Boolean. We assigned a value to new string. And we saw it. Now, we define first undefined value as an undefined value. Of course, we would see it in the browser console as undefined. Do you understand?
Okay.
Now, the only way we would have not seen this first undefined value in the browser console is if it did not exist. I mean, if that number did not even exist at all. Like the way I commented tutorial the other time. Can anyone remember?
Yes.
Now, if I comment this out now, do you think I would see any value in the browser console? Can anyone tell me? You guys are scared again.
No.
No.
See any value?
No.
I won't see any value in the browser console. It is going to tell me, it is in fact going to throw me an error.
Yes.
What did you see here now? It's not what? It's not defined. It is not defined, it's different from, it has a type of undefined. Do you understand? It doesn't even find. Now, how does this work? When you declare a variable in any language, the computer takes that variable, this variable, and this value, the computer stores that value in its memory. Now, integers, numbers like this, they have, all these numbers are not just there randomly. They have a certain amount of space they take in your memory. Integers normally take, depending on the type of system. In a 64-bit system, an integer would take 4 bytes. Are you following me? An integer will take 4 bytes. So the computer will be told that, okay, hello, give me a place in your memory and assign 4 bytes to what? To this value first number, to this variable first number. Are you following? It is going to assign 4 bytes to this variable first number. How does the computer do it? It will take this integer value here now, convert it to what? Zeros and ones. Then in that 4 bytes, what's the name? In that 4 bytes is how many bits? 4 bytes is what? A byte is 8 bits. And 4 bytes is what? 32 bits. Do you understand me? It is now going to what? Write the value of that, the value that is assigned to that variable. It is going to write it to that memory location. It is going to write the zeros and ones to that memory location. Then it is going to what? When you now call first number is just pointing. First number is just what? A pointer to what? To where this guy is. Do you get? Do you understand? Do you understand? So first number is going to get the values of this what? For you. Now, when you now say let first undefined value here, it is still going to allocate a memory for it. Do you understand? But the value is going to be what? Undefined. In this case where we do not have any value here now, the computer cannot find it. In this case here, if I uncomment it, the computer still knows that first undefined value is in my memory. So when I print it to the console, I get what? Undefined. But if I clean this out, the computer cannot even find it. And that's why when I come back here and I get uncaught reference error, it is not defined. Are you following me, guys? Now,
Yes, we are.
Yes, sir.
Now, undefined, no, they are very similar. Big ints is for values that are out of the range of normal integer values. Now, in every computer, there is a range of numbers. There is a range of numbers that integers that a computer can store as integers. Are you guys following me? Are you following me?
Yes, we are with you, sir.
If a computer can take 4 bytes as integers, are you following me?
Yes, sir.
If you write a number now, maybe like 67, 867, 67, let's say 6.7 million. Let me put commas so it is very clear. Okay, 67 million. If I write 67 million now, this 67 million I've written here now, the value of this 67 million is going to be taken as what? As zeros and ones. If this value cannot contain the number of bytes in that system, then it is not within that range. It is not within the range for integers. Do you understand what I just said? Let me come again, sir. Let me come again. If the computer memory has, for instance, only, let's look at this as the bits in a computer. This is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now let's look at this as what? As the bits in a computer. The maximum value that can get into this is 1 byte. Are you following?
Yes, sir.
This is 1 byte. So the maximum number you can have in this bytes is 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Do you understand what I just said?
Yes, sir.
Now this is guessing. This is what? This is binary. Are you following me?
Yes, sir.
This is binary.
Yes.
So the binary equivalent of this 11111 is the maximum that you can have in a byte. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So let's say, for instance, now this value here now is 20 million. It means if I have 21 million, 21 million is not going to be able to what? Contain here. Do you understand? Do you get?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you get? If
Yes, sir.
20 million in binary, if 20 million in binary is 1111111, that means this value that I have here is the maximum that this guy can take. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So if a computer is supposed to take 4 bytes for integers, supposedly, and I have a value that is out of the range, it is not going to be able to take it. Do you understand what I'm saying?
You can give us examples, sir.
I just give, okay, like I used, what's the name now? Let me say a computer is supposed to take 1 byte. Now, this value now is, this value that I have here now, let's say this value is 10 million. This is 10 million. For instance, the equivalent value of 10 million in binary is 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Do you understand? Are you following me?
Yes, sir.
If I convert
Yes, sir.
10 million to binary,
Yes, we are.
the computer,
Yes, sir.
if I convert 10 million to binary, I get this value here. Do you understand?
Okay.
And a computer is supposed to take 1 byte for integers. Let's say, for instance, I'm just giving it an instance now. Now, the moment I get to 10 million, if I say let's number, a first number or second number equals 10 million. Now, this is the maximum value that the computer can take. The moment I say let number equals 10 million and 1, it cannot take it. Integer is only assigned to take 1 byte. So this integer cannot take that value. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Exactly. And that's the reason why we have big ints. In languages like Java, we have variable, we have types like long. Do you understand? We have long. Long is supposed to be within the range that integer cannot take. Do you understand? So if you assign a variable, for instance, you say let price equals 50 billion. And the type of this guy, the type of this price is not, the type of this price is an integer. Are you following me?
Yes, sir.
If the maximum value that integer can take on that system is not, is 50, if the maximum number is 50 billion, and you now add 50 billion and 1 to it, it is not going to take it. You have to find another data type that can take that value, which is long. And in this case, the other data type is big ints. Do you understand?
Okay.
Yes, sir.
It's clear to everyone. Eh?
Razak,
Can you come over that again?
Razak,
Yeah.
hold on. Let's use a real life experience to explain this. So picture all this variable like a bucket. And then each bucket has its own size and what it can take. So for example, if you have a paint bucket, you can't fill it up with a bag of rice, it will not take it. So each and every one of these data type has what it can take. So Razak is trying to explain that an integer will not take more than this amount of bytes. I don't know if that's clear enough.
Yes, sir.
So if you are
Yes,
trying
sir.
to do something that is more than what it can take, it's going to flag an error. So that's the explanation. I don't know if it's clear enough.
Yes,
Thank
it's
you
clear.
very
sir.
much.
All
Yes,
right.
can we display it? Can we like maybe log into the console like so that we can see if it's going to write error? What you just said now.
Okay, it would have been easier to display something like this with Java.
Okay, but you can't
Yeah, but
use this.
I would find, because I do
So,
not
so
know
what
exact-
is the explanation is that in other programming language, this is much more emphasized and implemented. Do you understand? So he's trying to explain this big int. Why do we need big int? Why are we not using just number to initialize a number? Do you understand? So when your value is becoming very big,
Sir,
yes,
sir, I'm sorry to say my battery is low. Can I catch up later with the recordings?
all right, no problem, no problem.
Okay, thank you, sir.
All right. So Razak is trying to explain that he's trying to go to the reason why you use big int. And then it's coming from the fact that if you have a number and you are doing some calculation, for example, if you are designing an application that's going to be used in bank, and then you are calculating millions of naira or millions of dollars, and you are going to billions. So if you are going to initialize your variable, you have to use the data type that suits that particular variable. That is where he's driving at. He's just trying to use this to explain. I don't know if that's clear.
Yes,
All right,
sir.
sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
So if you are in a
All right.
bank now, bank handles billions on a daily basis and on a monthly basis. So if you are building an application for a bank where you want to help them get the total amount of money they make, and that value is defined as a variable, you know that it is possible for a bank to make billions and hundreds of billions. So it would be logical enough for you to use a value that a data type that can take it. Should in case a bank should make 150 billion this month or make 700 billion, you do not know if a simple data type like integer is going to take it, but you know that the values can go as high as possible. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Be clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so can we move on?
Go on, sir.
Okay.
Sure.
So I think I've talked about JavaScript being dynamically typed. Huh? Have I talked about that?
Type of,
No,
that's
sir.
what you want to say.
Yeah, so I
Type
was
of,
going to
right?
type off. Now, the type of is just an operator in JavaScript that helps us to do what? Type of helps us to get what? The data type of what? Of a variable. So, and how do we use type of? Third num is a variable now. I can just say console.log type of third num. Now, if I go to the browser console here now and I refresh, I come in, there is something we have not done. This guy is undefined. Let me comment these guys out. So now, if I come to my what's the name now? Type of what? Third num. Okay, I already type of third num is supposed to give me what?
Number.
Number. Can you see? Now, if I do the same thing for new string and I say console.log what? Type of new string. What does it give me?
String.
String.
Now, if I do the same thing for first boolean here, and I say console.log type of what?
Boolean.
Boolean.
Mm.
What do I get?
Was a Boolean, okay.
I get boolean. So type of is used to what? To get the what? Data type of what? Now, if I just write let first undefined value like I did here, and I say console.log type of what? First undefined value.
To give us undefined value.
To give us
Yes.
what? Undefined.
Undefined.
Are you following me?
Yes.
Good. So let's go back to our slide and look at a couple of. We've talked about variables, declaring variables. Now, the next part I want to talk about is what you guys have been asking, and that is why should we use lets or var or what const. Now, in JavaScript, how do we define variables? I've explained how we define variables, but what do we use to define variables in JavaScript? We use I would call them ways of defining variables. And in JavaScript, we use lets, const, and what? var. Now, these three ways,
Talking about why let learn.
Now, calm down. I'm going there now. Now, these three methods are used to define assign variables in what? In JavaScript. Now, when do we use lets? We use lets when we know that we are going to what? Be changing the value of, we might be changing the value of this variable later in the future. Are you guys following?
Yes, yes.
Now, let me show you something. I assign value 1 to hello. I can come now and say console.log value 1. Now, if I go to my browser console, I would see what? Hello, right?
Yes.
Now, I can choose to reassign the value of value 1. Now, notice something. When I'm reassigning, I'm not writing the let again.
Okay.
I'm just reassigning it to what? I'm not greeting you. Are you guys following? I decided I'm not greeting you anymore. So now I come here now and I refresh. I'm coming. Let me see. I've not logged that.
I've not logged. Yes.
Exactly. So if I now say console.log value 1, now you would see that when I refresh now, I will first get what? Hello, because that's logging that to the console first at line 45. Then I'll get I'm not greeting you. Now, see something. Let me remove this console that I'm logging here. Let me just say I'm saying value 1 is hello. Then I'm now reassigning it. If I say console.log value 1 now, what value do you think would be in the console?
It's hello.
I'm not greeting you.
Okay. Why did you say it is hello, my guy?
Because the second value 1, I'm not greeting you. We are not declaring it.
We are not declaring it.
It's not declared. It's just like, I don't know whether it's going to be unexecutable.
Okay, so let me come again. I've declared value 1 in this place here now.
Yes.
Are you getting? The moment I use let on a variable, I'm telling the JavaScript engine that this value 1 that is a variable, in the future, I can come and say I want to reassign a value to it. I might say that I don't want hello again. I'm not greeting you people anymore. I can come in the future and say value 1 is now a new value. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Now, When I reassign value 1 in the future, I do not need, because I have declared it initially with let, I do not what? I do not need to still write let again. Can you see? If I try to write let again, it will say cannot redeclare. I'm not redeclaring it anymore. I'm just what? I'm reinitializing it.
Okay.
I'm reassigning what? A variable I'm reassigning another value to that variable that has been declared initially.
Okay.
So this variable has been declared initially, but at this point here, I'm reassigning another value to it. Is that clear?
Yes, it's very
Yes,
clear.
sir.
And at the point of reassignment, I do not need to put let again.
Okay.
You get? But one thing you should know is I should not normally declare a variable naturally. I cannot just come now. I should not naturally just come and say first variable equals hello. Now, if I do this and I log this to the console, you will be shocked that it is going to work. Can you see it? Script.js 50. If I go to Script.js 50, you can see. Did it work or not?
It worked.
It worked. But this is a very bad way of doing things in JavaScript. Why? Because the reason for let, const, and var, they have their reasons. And you should not just declare a variable without any one of all these three. Are you following me?
Yes, sir.
Are you following me? You should not just declare a variable without any of these three values. So it is wrong to just declare a variable like this. Very wrong. You must declare a variable with either let or const or var. But it is right to reassign a variable like this without using
declaring it.
Exactly. Because you are not redeclaring, you are just reassigning.
Okay.
You understand?
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So now I've declared value 1 to be hello. If I reassign value 1 to be I'm not
Yes,
greeting,
sir.
and I'll come
Yes,
here.
sir.
Hang on, let me
Can you
finish.
hear me?
If you want to ask a question, raise your hand.
Okay.
Don't disrupt the class like that. So if I have a value 1 and I reassign value 1 to I'm not greeting you, yeah.
Right.
Then on the next line, I say console.log value 1. What would I get in my browser console?
I am not greeting you.
Exactly. And the reason why I'm getting I'm not greeting is because I've reassigned this value to what? A new value. Do you understand? So if I go to the browser console now, what I see now is what? I'm not greeting you. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Someone wanted to ask a question. I'm listening now.
That's the one we did not assign maybe let const or variable for it. And it's showing. You tell us is a bad idea, but you didn't give us basically like what's the repercussion, what can it cause, like if you do not put let const or variable.
Okay, so learning is what's the name? Learning is not linear. I cannot start explaining the nitty-gritties of that, but I would touch it. I would explain some things, and I'm still going there. Now, when I use let's, yeah, I'm going there. Please, if you want to ask a question, raise your hands so you do not just disrupt my class every now and then. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So, when I use let's, I'm telling the compiler that I would definitely want to come back to this guy in the future. There's a probability that I will come back to reassign a value to this guy in the future. Do you understand?
Yes,
now,
sir.
Const is another way of declaring variables. And how does const work? from the word constant. Constant means what? It does not change. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So if I say const, unchangeable value, and I say this value doesn't change. Now, if I come down here and say unchangeable value equals I must change you. If I now say console.log
I must change you.
Unchangeable value.
Unchangeable value, and I go to the browser console now, what did you see here?
Error.
Error.
Assignment to constant variable.
50. It is telling us that what? We cannot reassign a constant value. Do you understand?
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So it is not possible to change a value that we. But if I come back and use let here now, what do you think would happen?
I must change.
What do you think would happen?
It is
We
going to
can
show I
change
must
it
change.
in the future.
Can you see? I must change it. It changes. But when I use what? Const means that value doesn't what?
Change.
Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Good. So as a next is var.
Sure.
var
Okay.
Now, if I come here and say reassign var value to be what? Change var value. And I say console.log var value.
Semicolon.
Now, let me remove this constant value that I changed it, since I cannot change it. Now, there's something I want to point you guys to. You would notice that what I am writing, okay, let me show you now. Let me do it so you can get. Now, when I clean this now, and I come here, you see that my value here shows. This value here shows. Do you understand? Now, you realize that just this line of code that was wrong did not allow this remaining part to work.
Okay.
Now, the reason why it is that way is because our code runs line by line from top to what?
Bottom.
Bottom.
Okay.
Are you following me?
Yes.
Runs line by line from top to bottom. Are you following me?
Yes,
If
sir.
there's an error on this line, this would not get to this point. Do you understand?
Yes.
Good. I wanted to make a note of that. So now, var. I've changed the value of var to what? Change value, var value. And I come here. Can I see the value?
Yes.
Now, so this tells us that what? When I use var, I can do what?
I can reuse the volume.
I can reassign. So it means var is what? Synonymous to what?
Let.
Good. Now, var is synonymous to let. There are different JavaScript releases. Before 2015, from 2015 downwards, we started having ES6. ES is what? Short form for ECMAScript.
Yeah.
Are you following me?
Yes, sir.
Short form for ECMAScript. Those are the developers of JavaScript language. Now, ES6 came with const and let. But before then, we have been using var. Are you following me?
Yes.
Yes,
Now,
sir.
the difference between using let, const, and var, let makes you reassign value, right?
Yes.
Let and const, these two came in with year 6. Are you following me?
Yes, sir.
Var has always been there ever since. Now, you would now tell me that, but let and var, they are doing like the same thing now.
Same thing. Yes, sir.
You get? Now, the point you would realize the difference between let, const, and var is later in the future. But I can tell you what the difference is now. There's what we call block scopes and function scopes. Let and const are block scopes, but var is function scopes.
Okay.
That's what we call scope and scope chain in JavaScript. It is going to be in the future. We'll talk about it and give examples on it. But at the moment, it is not going to be really understandable for you because we've not even talked about, you don't even know what a block is at the moment, and you don't know what functions are. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
But at the moment, anytime you have the opportunity, make sure to always use either let or const. Now, if you are very sure that you would be changing the value of a variable, you can use let. But as a rule of thumb, always make use of const. Are you following me?
Yes, sir.
Always make use of const, because if you are not sure you would be changing it, just always make use of const. Because if you use let, and in the future, while writing your code, you now write that and you've forgotten that you already declared such a variable and you just reassign it. Do you understand? And you do not want to reassign such a variable in the future, you can introduce bugs into your code. So as a rule of thumb, always use const. So if while writing your code, you now realize that, okay, I might want to change this value, then go back and set it to let. But if you are very sure that you would definitely change the values that will definitely change in the future, use let. For instance, let me give examples. Let age equals 45. Someone's age can change. I can be 45 this year and I can be what?
46 next year.
But if I say let birth year equals 2020, can this change in the future?
No.
That's fraud.
Birth year cannot change.
Yes.
So I maybe later in my code, I mistakenly go and write birth year equals 2048. Do you understand? I've introduced bug into this code.
Yes.
Do you understand? Because
Yes,
this
sir.
here is not supposed to change. So when you have values that would not change, someone's birth year is always the birth year. It cannot change. Use let. When you have values that use const.
No, use const. Okay, sir.
But when you have values that you are sure that they will change, do you understand? You can say what? Use let. You can now say that, for instance, now, age is 45. Birth year is 2020.
Yes.
Or let's say birth year is 2020. Age, someone that was born in 2020, his year is what?
Yes.
4 years.
24.
4 years.
4 years this year. I can say let age equals what? 4. Abi?
Yes.
Now, I can now come in the future and say that if current year, let me say a variable let current year, because the current year we are now is what?
2024.
2020 what?
4.
Good. Now, I can now say that if current year is 2025, do what? Reassign the value of age to what?
5.
Are you following me?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Do you understand?
Yes,
So,
sir.
if maybe later in my code, current year is now 2025, it is going to change the value of what? age to 5 without
Age to 5.
without what? Without making noise. But if I used const here now on my age, and I say if current year is 2025, age is what? 5. It is not going to what? Work. Let me give an example here now. Let current year is 2024. Let me now come and say current year is now what? 2025. Abi?
Yes.
Now, let me use const here now. I've used const. If current
Hello,
year...
Razak.
Hello?
Yeah, well done. This is Farouk Ahmed. It's just a reminder that there will be break by 11:45, so you can try and wrap this up and welcome any question from the participants.
Okay, no problem.
So rest for like 15 minutes. Yeah.
Okay, no problem. So now, if current year is 2025, I'm now saying what? Age is what? 5. If I now come here and say console.log the what? Age. If I go to my browser console now, and what did I get now? Error. Assignment to what? Constant variable. And why did I get that? Is because I'm trying to reassign a constant variable that cannot change. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
But if I come back here and I say, let us use let here. Now, when I use let here now, what do you think I'll get in my browser console? What did I get?
5.
5. That shows us that what? Our age is changeable. We can change what? Our age is. So we use let. Bet here should not change. Use const. Is this clear? Do you understand the building blocks of creation of variables in JavaScript now?
Yes, sir.
Is it really clear?
Yes, sir.
Now, to talk about function scoped, block scoped, that would be in the future. But just know that let and const, have it at the back of your mind, that let and const are what?
Block scopes.
They are block scopes. Block
is method.
Block scopes. While what?
Var is for functions.
Var is function scopes.
Scope.
Are you following me?
Yes, sir.
But the basic differences is what I've explained to you now. Always use let or const. Var was used in ES 2015. VAR was always used in ES5. Doesn't mean you cannot use VAR now. But if you do not understand block scopes, function scopes, you might introduce bugs into your code without if you do not understand function scope, you will probably be introducing bug into your code if you are using what? VAR these days. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
As a rule of thumb, always use let and const. Do you get? And if you know your variable isn't going to change, always use const. But if you are very sure it is going to change, use let. Does anyone have any questions? I'll be taking questions now for the next 5 minutes before we go on the break.
Yes, sir.
I'm listening.
Okay. Concerning what you are talking about when they release JavaScript, how do someone know if they release new JavaScript, or is it depend on the year they make a system? I don't really understand that part.
Oh, there are always upgrades to languages every time. There are always they would introduce new features. For instance, now a method in JavaScript can be slice. And in the next 1 year, they might introduce another method. There are always new releases every time. I think every year for JavaScript, I think it's every year. So we have ES from 2015, we had ES6. So there's ES 2017, there was released in 2018, 19, then 2020, there's ES 2020. Do you understand? So they release new features every time. You can always check it on the internet.
what I don't get is it the system, like, is it the system that we understand that they've upgraded it? That's the part I don't really get.
No, 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 no,
I
no, no,
understand
no.
that say they are releasing.
No, it's not. It's necessarily not an upgrade. Of course, there will definitely be things that might have been upgraded that might be deprecated. When I say deprecated, means that maybe it doesn't work anymore. Do you get? But one thing that JavaScript ensures is that there's backward compatibility, meaning that even the new versions of JavaScript, are you getting? Even the new versions of JavaScript that you have, or the old versions of JavaScript that you have, can still work in the present times. Do you understand? Do you understand what I'm saying? Hello,
I
can you hear?
understand. Yes, sir. I'm hearing you. I think maybe I did not place my question well. Like, I don't know how to ask that question. You know, the language that you're saying they upgrade.
I'm listening. You're not saying anything anymore. Okay, I think I lost him. Someone else. Can someone else ask? Does anyone else ask a question? Sorry, you're breaking. I cannot hear you. Does anyone else have any questions?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I have questions.
Let someone else. I'll come back to you.
Yes, I have questions, sir.
Okay, I'm listening to you.
This I want to take us back to this issue of late and var.
Okay, I'm listening.
From ES6, EC6, ECMAScript 2015, they introduces this late.
Yes, let and const.
Exactly. Does that mean, code that you wrote using var let, sorry, cannot work on the system prior to this ECMAScript?
You said, does that mean what?
The code that once writes using late and const will not work on the platform on software like that runs using that was running before this ECMAScript.
That's why I was just talking about backward compatibility and forward.
Exactly.
Backward compatibility is just the ability of your system to work with older versions or previous iterations. Do you understand?
So I
So
understand.
means that new versions are designed to be compatible with older versions too. So they can still communicate and function seamlessly. Do you understand?
Okay. I understand, sir.
That's what backward compatibility is.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Does anyone have any other questions?
Okay, yes, sir.
I'm listening.
Yes, sir. Okay, I'm seeing that the last command that you use, although maybe you've not reached there, but is it that if is looking the same thing, like the same color, like all those let, constant, and var?
What did you say?
The if.
Which one? This one here. This if here.
The if comma, yes, that you use. I say, is it in the same type of this let, constant, and variable? They are different.
This if statement is a control statement. It is different from all this. We've not touched that. I just used it to explain something. We've not touched control structure. Understand?
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you,
So
sir.
like I was saying, there will definitely be several features that will not be backward compatible. Do you understand? It really just depends on the language, how they make it. There are some ES6 features that would not work, and they will only work in an ES6 JavaScript engine. Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So for instance, now, this is my browser now. This is probably a latest upgrade of Chrome. So this Chrome runs an ES6JS engine. It is most definitely running an ES6JS engine. You know, I told you before that the Chrome engine, the V8 engine of Chrome runs JavaScript. Do you understand?
Exactly, sir.
So if it doesn't run an ES6JS engine, some features of the present JavaScript, which is ES6, might not work in it.
Exactly.
Of course, they will tell you that there's backwards compatibility, but some features are not backward compatible. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So you
Thank
have
you,
to
sir.
use an ES6JS engine before you can use those features. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Exactly.
I
So
understand.
does someone else do you have any questions? We have to go for a break now. Who has any question again? Hello.
Razak, let everybody go for break, and then
Okay.
we'll come back in 15 minutes time.
Okay. So
So that
let's
we'll have some time to stretch out.
let's
And
go for
that's
break.
that. All right, thank you. If you know you won't be able to come back, stay on the call and then spend your break on the call. If you know you will be able to come back, just stay here and you can go for break and then come back. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, Gambi. Mo ń gbọ́ yín. Kí lọ̀gá bá sọ? Ẹ́? Ṣé Farouk ṣe fẹ́ continue? Anyone tẹ́ bá fẹ́ continue kò sí wàhálà. Tẹ́ bá fẹ́ rest màá mú lọ náà. Okay. 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 Mo ti jẹun. Ẹ má wẹ̀. Ṣé kí n share slide yẹn kí n share fún un? Okay. Màá share sí.
Hello, sir. Mr. Azar. Can you please pause or stop the recording? So that the break will not be part of it.
Okay.
You mute your this. Thank you.
Okay. Has it stopped? Hello, has it
The
stopped?
recording is still on.
Has it stopped already? I've paused it.